We are coming to you live, NAACP, Atlanta NAACP runoff election bus headed to Columbus, Georgia. This leader is the Richard.
When we get to Columbus, but we're heading I-85 south from Atlanta, Troy, Columbus, Georgia. We're going to be joined with the Columbus NAACP President Wayne Hales and his crew and his volunteers down there to really try to pump up this vote, get around Atlanta. They're doing a little barbershop tour. We're going to be participating with them. We're going to stop wherever they want to stop and make some noise and talk about how important this vote is. You know, for this time, the senator that will be elected today will serve 6 years. We won't do this again until 2028. There's a lot of policy. There's a lot of issues that can be solved if people vote the way that pleases them. We're not telling you who to vote for, but we're telling you it is important. Everything about the Senate affects your life, whether it's education, educational loans, health care, infrastructure, job training, job opportunities, immigration, you name it, the Senate takes up. And the Senate, for people who are not that familiar with the political structure, the Senate is a deliberative body. It's a little kind of dicey when it comes to really representing all the people, because every state has 2 senators. Every state has at least one member of the House of Representatives, which is accorded by population. But every state has 2 senators. For example, Alaska has 3 representatives. They have about the same amount of people up in as Cobb County, Georgia has. So in a way, it's discriminatory, but it was set up that way to have a union where small states wanted to have some power, and small states do have power. So that's why it's important. Every state gets 2 senators. We got 100 senators, and the Senate rules themselves for most votes require a 60 vote to cut off debate. And so that means you need 60 people, 60 senators to support whatever the legislation might be, and that makes a difference. And so that's why this seat is important.
Well, and also historically, runoff elections were designed to suppress the black vote.
Absolutely. So what happened early when black folks began to get power to vote? They would get a plurality of votes that will allow them to take office. They didn't get a majority, but they got the most votes. And so they instituted this runoff election process in Georgia and other southern states. Northern states don't have this. Most of them don't have it.
Right.
Some of them do. Wisconsin, for example, which is a northern southern state, in my opinion, they require a runoff, and some other states do. But southern states across the board require runoff designed to suppress minority voting power.
Yes. And so that makes this particular election even more reasons why people should really exercise that right. Hey, we could even change that if we want to, and take it back to the way, like you say, everyone else, you win the election, and that's pretty much the end of it.
Right. And so what we're going to try to do, there's another way to that kind of limits the discriminatory effect of runoff election is to have what they call a ranked choice voting system.
Yes.
So people would vote not only for first choice, but their second choice.
Yes.
And if that's the case, I think we would have already decided this election in either one of those cases, whether we had less than 50% or a ranked voter choice. Then I think we would not be voting today. But today we are voting.
That's right.
And this is what we have to do. Now in Atlanta, it should be raining tomorrow, but across the state, it'll be better to have clearer skies, and we're looking forward to a great turnout. We can depend on black voters by and large to vote their interests.
That's right.
As opposed to some other communities, but we've been pretty good at voting our interests, and now's the time to vote our interests.
One of the things that has made this so exciting, and particularly for me, sir, is, I mean, this bus that we put on the road and have traveled all over the state. What are the idea, and what has been the result? I mean, this bus has made some noise.
This bus has made some noise. We want to continue to make noise from the Atlanta NAACP to continue to promote advocacy. We are in the business of civil rights and whatever it takes to promote our rights, and our need to be involved in the democracy. Voting is the doorway to democracy, and that's how we get in it. You know, other countries across the world, China and Russia, Iran, those citizens don't get a chance to select their leaders.
That's right.
They operate out of oligarchy or a strong arm system, and so they can't vote. We can vote, and we need to do it. You know, the Ku Klux Klan was founded to stop black men from voting. That was at a time when women didn't have a universal right to vote. Some states did have women's right to vote, but most of them did not. So the Klan was founded to intimidate black voters, and more than intimidate, to actually hang them and kill them while they were trying to vote. So we don't have that obstacle now. We need to get out here and make sure we vote.
And one of the things that you've stressed along this whole journey is that not only, I mean, we're at the Senate race now, but we need to vote the entire ballot. I mean, from the dog catcher to the president. Yes, yeah. Yes.
And we're going to be working on some things. We're going to do a series of videos to tell people what each of these offices mean across this whole state.
Yes.
For every county, every city. We're going to explain that so people have a way they can go back to it and maybe even take some tours and go to schools and high school, middle schools to talk about it, give students a chance to ask a question. Well, what does this mean? How can I affect that? We have to, our objective is to promote a culture of voting among the black community, because that is our road to equality, our road to overcome oppression and suppression.
That's good. That's great. Voter education campaign to explain, because so many people do not know who is responsible for divorces, or who is responsible for misdemeanors, or who is responsible for all those things that affect us every day.
Yeah, probate issues.
Probate.
If a person dies without a will, or even if they had a will and it's contested, it goes to a probate court judge, and that judge makes a ruling, you know, based on what the evidence that's presented to him. In the past, you know, back in the early 20th century, probate court judges stole land from black farmers, from black families, based on spurious kinds of protests, of filings by white landowners, and that was about voting. Probate court judges are elected. So as we know, there's a long list of politicians that affect our lives every day.
Once again, we're talking to Richard Rose, the president of the Atlanta NAACP. And Rich, I just want people to know, I mean, you've been on this kind of journey. Of course, we're all about the election right now. Let's not forget the runoff election. But there's a reason why you're in this position. I mean, this has been something you wanted to help the community, our community, just about all your life.
Absolutely. My first protest picket line was I was 13 years old. And I'm just committed to it. You know, I found out at the age of 9, I asked my mother, could we go to the zoo on the weekend? And she informed me that Negroes could only go to the zoo on Thursday. And I had to have some understanding to explain that to me. Did we have the money? Who owned the zoo? Why? You know, and so I committed then, and as I told her then, I said, as soon as I get grown, I'm going to do something about it.
Yes.
So I'm grown, and I'm trying my best to do something about it.
And a big part of that, you know, is informing our communities, but still also getting collaborations. I know you're big on collaborations.
I am.
It took a lot of people to make this happen. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so you know, one of the things I noticed my first year in office is that community groups who wanted to make a contribution and wanted to do something, but there was no coordination, no collaboration. The Deltas and the AKAs would both show up at a single high school to do voter registration, where nobody was at another high school a few miles apart. And so I said, well, let's collaborate. Let's run it through the NAACP, through the whole county, and then we can make sure everybody gets covered. Every school, every child gets the opportunity to register to vote as soon as they turn 18 or at least 17 and a half. And we extended that in 2018 as we collaborated with other grassroots organizations like Georgia's Coalition for the People's Agenda, like Black Voters Matter, New Georgia Project, Georgia Stand Up. And so in other NAACP branches across the state, when we work together, we are more powerful, we are more collaborative, more cohesive, and we can accomplish more for the community.
And the proof is in the pudding. I mean, and so I know today again, we're headed to Columbus, but there are canvassers all over the state through the NAACP and other organizations.
Right.
Answer the door.
Answer the door. Yeah, please. So the good thing, you know, they'll have a shirt on or other insignia, so you know that's the NAACP, and we bringing good news. We're not bringing bad news. So open the door and let's have a conversation.
That's right. And okay, so tomorrow's the big day. Tuesday, we're live again on the bus. We're headed to Columbus. We're going to be here in Columbus today. And who are the people we're working with again in Columbus?
We're working with Wayne Hales, who's the president of the Columbus, Muskogee County NAACP branch. He's going to meet us. We're looking forward to it. We worked with him in 2020 and in January 2021. We look forward to this continued collaboration for the benefit of all of Georgia. You know, with this election, it's going to impact America, not just Georgia. It's going to impact America because the Senate votes on things that affect all of America, from Hawaii to Maine, from Alaska to Florida to the Virgin Islands. It's that important, and we have seen what difference it makes. You know, now we have a black woman sitting on the Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Might not have been possible had not the 2020-21 election for Senate in Georgia gone a different way.
That is so right, sir. That is so right. Where we elected both two new senators.
Two new senators, and it changed the makeup of the Senate, and it has changed America. That is what it's about, changing America, because we know the data confirms that suppression has hurt black communities economically. There are but two objectives to oppression: that's degradation and deprivation. And so degradation, take away your self-worth; deprivation, take away your resources and your ability to obtain resources. We still have to overcome those obstacles that I've faced all my life.
Tomorrow's election day. We'll be coming back to you later again, but we're on our way to Columbus, everybody. And Mr. President, we'd like to thank you so much for this time and the knowledge and the hard work putting in to making sure that our voices are heard out here. Your vote is your choice, your vote is your voice, all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.